Peace and power. We are back. We are in chapter 9 today. My apologies for the late start. StreamYard is experiencing heavy traffic due to the holiday. And so, or the so-called holiday. Um, it took a while to get in. It is now 9:15. We're just gonna go ahead and jump right in and bring on Brother Butts. How are you today, Brother Butts?
Top of the morning. I am well, Miss Pitts. How about yourself, man?
I'm okay. It's been a rough couple of days. I'm here. So, are you ready to get into chapter 9? I can see the excitement busting from your bristle beard. Is that excitement I see? Oh, okay. Brother Butts is frozen right now. So, we do want to say welcome to all of the new subscribers, the new book club members. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to my YouTube family, Brother Butts. If you could just check your um camera, it's frozen. We have you here, but it's a still picture. And so we did a review in the middle of the week last week where we went over most of the chapters. Well, we went over all of the chapters that we have completed thus far. And so we got into that. We also had another book giveaway. Or Brother Butts, you would have to DM him on Facebook. Use your Venus grip. And if somebody already won that book, congratulations to you. And if not, then you might still have a chance. Go ahead and find him. It's Jamal M. Butts on Facebook. And if you DM him, you can get you a copy of the book. And so we are today about to give it a couple more minutes. It seems like StreamYard is experiencing a little difficulty. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and make sure in the background that everything's set up. One moment. All right. So just want to make sure we have the YouTube chat open. Y'all don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Still giving Brother Butts time to get back. I don't know if it's the platform StreamYard or what, but I had took me a good 15 minutes to get on here today. So maybe it is the platforms. Give us a minute. Give us a minute. I'm looking here. I'm just trying to place the flyer. So I hope you all are enjoying this book as much as I am. I've been thinking about chapter 8 all weekend long. I decided to go back on to the platform and re-listen to the live. It was so much information there. Okay, Brother Buzz, you back?
Yeah. Apparently, I'm having Wi-Fi issues here in St. Louis now.
Okay.
So I've switched to another device, hotspotting and all that kind of stuff. So here it is. Here I am.
Okay, well, let's get right into it. Today is a busy day for the internet. Clearly, we are on chapter 9, the transition from adult level to high level orgasm. And Mr. Butts, you want to begin or you want me to pick up halfway in?
Uh, the holy triangle of orgasm has three sides: tantra, the house of the man and the house of the woman, or the house of the woman, the level of masculine and feminine energy, and three, the alignment of the four bodies: cell body, energy body, light body, quantum field. Tantra is the engine of transition by which a woman or man can bring the necessary faculties online. The house of the man or woman is a measure of our fuel level. The more masculine or feminine archetypes we activate, the more fuel we have to power the energy released into orgasm. As a man or woman prepares to ascend from adult level orgasm to high level orgasm, they can just let nature take its course. If a man or woman keeps practicing Tantra and continues each year to activate additional archetypes in their house of the man or woman, they will eventually experience HLO. Let me state again that if a man or woman increases their masculine or feminine energy and combines this with the practice of a genuine tantric lifestyle, this will slowly force the four bodies to align. But this process could take years unless we assist it. Using the sex value table, high level orgasm equals levels +5, +6, +7. Adult level orgasms Adult level orgasm equals levels +1 through +4. Excuse me. The sex value table is table 1 in the appendix. It should be noted that if you are still evolving, even slowly, then you are already naturally moving up the table. It is advisable to secure the assistance of a tantric professional, but this is not absolutely necessary either. If you are odd or weird, you probably stand a better chance of reaching HLO than the average man or woman. A unique personality indicates that you probably have not accepted all the social programming to which most of the herd has been subjected. Becoming a sexual god. Let us review the 5-step program to achieve high level orgasm. The 5-step program outline is 1, conservation of sexual energy, semen retention for men. Shift from a unipolar sexual dynamic to a bipolar sexual dynamic. Shift from penis only orgasms to involving the primary polar entity of the prostate in orgasm. Tantra table work. The Cocoon Project. Internal natural DMT production, or ESR. I know people who have been taking courses and experimenting with Tantra for years, yet have still never had a high level orgasm experience. On the other hand, I know people who have had one HLO experience by accident and then caught fire and chased the HLO train with everything they had. In 5 months, they transitioned from juvenile to adult level to high level orgasm. In only 5 months. Incredible. Of course, it normally takes months or years, but the time is always shorter if you are highly motivated. Technically, I am capable of giving a woman an HLO experience the very first time she gets on my table, but that almost never happens. In the last calendar year, I can count on one hand the number of women who have experienced HLO during their first 2 table sessions. Why? Because they are blocking it. Most women are resisting orgasm very strongly. Most of the women who go straight into HLO orgasm event the first time they contact me are very young and unrestricted. Typically, they have not had a lot of sexual experience and are very open to feeling sexual pleasure. Women under 25, not overweight, with high self esteem and very few personality issues, are high probability candidates. This is because they are not actively seeking to block my energy and their four bodies are better aligned. This issue of subliminal resistance to orgasm is a source of conflict among some Grand Trine community members. In one case, the conflict was between 2 women. Beverly was 23, very laid back and self confident because she had a gorgeous body. Hannah was 50. Hannah was 50 pounds overweight, 38 years old, anxious, and depressed. The men worked on Hannah for 30 minutes with only a trace reaction. I worked on Beverly for 90 minutes, and she had a full ESR experience. Hannah watched Beverly gorge herself in pleasure on the table for 90 whole minutes and proceeded to get angry. The next day, she called me crying. I explained to her that if she stopped resisting, she could have the same experience on the table. Hannah did have more cells to energize. Let me get these women's names correct here. 25. Hannah was 50. Okay. Hannah did have more cells to energize. Her body was dehydrated, but her main reason for low energy movement was her resistance to male energy. Hannah worked on her water issue and her pain body issue. She made herself more available for sexual pleasure. At the next group session, it was like magic, and her experience on the table was 10 times better. It took her a few months, but she eventually had experiences equal to or better than Beverly. With men who resist, the issue seems to be more embedded, but the same thing applies. Most people find the first stage to be the hardest, and each step after that gets easier and easier. Each time you finish a stage, you transition into a more sexually motivated being. Now, let's review each of these tasks in a bit more detail. Becoming a Sexual Guide is the title of an old Tier Tantra course from years back. It was certainly a provocative title, but very misunderstood. The deception was intentional. We knew the controversy would advertise the course, which it did. Everyone says that we have God inside, but few actually believe it. When a man or woman begins to learn how to operate their energy and light bodies, they undergo a transformation. You can see it in their eyes. They actually start to believe that perhaps there really is a God inside them. Those who took that course learned a special secret. In a humble and special way, they learned that the transition between becoming more godlike really takes hard work. Most people today have been ordinary for too long. Society reminds you just how ordinary you are. Walk into any government office for service or walk into any large store and observe the volume of sales. You don't matter. Say hello to a stranger at a mall and see what happens. Walk into a hospital waiting room. The truth is, in general, people do not care about others. Evil and injustice are common. Therefore, it is hard to convince people that they can do extraordinary things if they are convinced they're just common, regular statistics. Tantra will violently wrench your facade of limitations away. The first time you induce orgasm in your partner without touching them, you will know. You must believe that you can do gangster stuff. Although the edge of a lake, approach the edge of a lake and look out over the surface. Excuse me. Could I walk on the surface? Could I do it? If Jesus did it, then it must be possible. John did it for a minute until he lost focus and sank. Can you see that? Half the battle is gaining an ironclad belief in your ability to ascend. Okay, I'm not saying that you should step out on the water and try to walk on faith. Your butt will surely sink. I am saying that as you approach the edge, your mind should be saying, I wonder if the condition were right, could I do it? This should be a real question. Don't be convinced that you cannot do miraculous things. I can attest that a lot of formerly ordinary men and women in Grand Trine have gone on to do truly supernatural things. The hardest part is to make them believe in themselves. This is what becoming a sexual guide is all about. The detailed 5-step program for HLO. Step 1, sexual energy conservation. The goal here is to establish a condition where the base level of sexual energy is gradually and consistently elevating, even with the occasional sexual activity. The mean energy level should be slightly higher each week. It begins with short periods of abstinence, but abstinence is replaced by Qigong, stopping leaks, Tantra, Yoni egg work, elemental mantra, and eventually semen retention. Some or all of the above should be applied. When the level reaches the first Dantian point, engage exercises to increase the capacity to store more energy. Step 2, shift from unipolar to bipolar platform. Both men and women start the shift from a unipolar sexual dynamic to a bipolar sexual dynamic. The female shifts from a clitoris centered libido to vaginal centric, with G spot control as primary and with the clitoris as the secondary platform. This means the male shifts from a penis centered libido to prostate centric, with Joe Min point control as primary and with the penis as the secondary platform. This involves the male engaging in a regimen of semen retention. Step 3, real active tantra. To expand, strengthen, and activate the energy body with tantra. Incorporate tantra work into a weekly routine. Begin to explore the use of the auric penis and the auric breast. Map out the path to achieve adult level orgasm if you are not there yet. By the end of this stage, the couple should be in the upper portion of the sex value table. The cocoon phase. Traditionally, the woman goes first. The male assists to isolate the woman for several months. During this time, she attempts a major sexual metamorphosis. While in the cocoon, she releases her pain body and embraces her pleasure body. Upon completion, the woman uses HLO and her elegant rose to take him through the process she just experienced. Special attention should be paid to losing weight and returning to ideal body shape. The DMT phase, step 5. Beginning with the onset of female internal DMT experiences that gradually bring on a full body orgasm. The male follows suit and enters an expanded sexual capacity and eventually full blown male ESR. The cell body regimen is employed and other aspects of the recipe are brought to bear as required. High level orgasm will remain out of your reach as long as you only see the limited one body, mediocre juvenile version of you. You have 4 bodies and have lived many lives. You have DNA from ancestors and 10,000 years of evolution, and your body reproduces 100 billion cells every 80 days. Humans just like you have survived war, slavery, harsh migration, and drought for millennia. You invented astrology, the wheel, writing, and songs. In each of the 5 stages, you must pass through a portal and undergo a transformation. Your mantra is this: stop living in the past. I am ascension in progress. I am not the entity I was yesterday. I am beginning I am becoming the highest and best version of myself possible. As you begin each of the 5 steps, you need to change your words and change your language. The changing of your words is the opening of the portal. First, you must speak as if you have changed, and then you will begin to act like it. Step 1, energy conservation. To move up the levels in the table of sex value, it is necessary for your base level of sexual or energy to always be increasing. If you are operating at the juvenile level each time you make love, it will deplete large reserves of energy. If you are operating at the adult level each time you engage in sex, it will deplete less energy and your recovery time will improve. At high level orgasm, each time you make love, your energy level will increase, especially if the man is practicing semen retention. Age and health will obviously affect the degree of loss, and there are many other factors to be considered. The above is simply a general rule. The desired dynamic is that each month that your net sexual energy is higher than it was in the previous month. Some people can do this by simply not having sex. Others are so deeply in their juvenile state that even if they stop having sex, their base will not accumulate. Of course, the main source of loss is not sex with a partner, but masturbation. Masturbation must be reduced or totally eliminated. The recommendation is to limit sex to twice per week. This limitation and even the cessation of masturbation will probably be enough to reach the goal. We could end the discussion for step 1 right there if our society were organic and natural, but unfortunately, it isn't. Drug use is the next big issue. Diabetes and high blood pressure create a state in which the loss of energy from sex is greater than normally would be. This has to do with the transfer of water molecules across cell membranes. As anyone with these conditions can tell you, sex is more of a challenge with diabetes. Typically, the medicine, drugs prescribed for maintenance makes things worse. Many of the drugs used to treat chronic illness have side effects. They may thin the blood, change the blood, disturb the nitric oxide pathway, block the action of necessary catalysts or neurochemicals, and much more. The, the person simply pops the pill and carries on with life, but the kidneys and liver have to process the drugs. Opioids, MOAs, pain meds, and illegal drugs can lower recovery time and lower a person's base sexual energy level. These are supplements. I'm sorry, there are supplements, herbs, and alternative means to counter the negative impact of drugs, but it is illegal to discuss the details formally as it is considered practicing medicine. You must research this for yourself. Simple exercise, 20 minutes 3 times per week, will do wonders to increase the production of sexual energy. The thyroid gland is the center of this. Be sure to supplement with nascent iodine 3 times per week for optimal benefits from physical exercise. The biggest loss of sexual energy is from the cell reproduction process. Your billions of cells are always reproducing. Most of the energy used in this process is normal body fuel, but because it is genesis and sexual, a small amount of kundalini is also required. This is why this is why orthomolecular nutrition is important. To maintain kundalini levels, anything you can do to make the cell replication process go more smoothly will help to boost your sexual energy. There are leaks and waste in the energy body. If you patch them, it will make a big difference in maintaining high sexual energy levels. Some of the leak is structured. There is damage or issues in the chakras or layers of the auric field. I do not suggest attempting to fix these. The main leakage is emotional. It is the investment and expenditure of emotional energy into things that are counterproductive to sexual or relationship happiness. Probably half of all the emotions we spend fall into this category, which uses up energy. Sadly, we find this to be the case because most of the information we are operating from is based on false belief systems. This topic is covered in detail in the chapter on the pain body. Your pain body is one of the biggest users of our sexual energy. In return, you get you get the back pain. Addressing your body pain will allow you to have sex more without falling below the level you need. The higher and more sexual your pain, falling below the level you used. Hold on, let me reread that. Addressing your pain body will allow you to have more sex without falling below the level you need. The higher and more severe your pain body is on the scale, the faster it depletes your precious sexual energy, much the same way that your brain uses a good percentage of your chemical energy. Some institutions estimate the brain uses 35 to 45% of the body's daily calorie intake. Most people do not believe that mental work takes more energy than physical work, but it does. The practice of Tantra on a consistent weekly basis will steadily increase your level of sexual energy. Indeed, for most people, this will be enough to cover the deficits from negative sources. 2 sessions per week are enough. With more members of Grand Trine Tantra, with most members of Grand Trine Tantra works too well. The level of energy increases so fast that they cannot increase their libido, their storage capacity, fast enough to keep up. In other words, they become very horny. Pressure is placed on their routine and discipline. The tea kettle starts to boil. The reader should keep this in mind when designing a conservation routine. Lastly, I recommend a few simple Qigong exercises each day. Okay, pleasure, listen, toward the reader should, okay. Okay, let me start back here. Lastly, I recommend a few simple Qigong exercises each day. Tai Chi is very similar. There are ample sources of information on Qigong on the internet. From time to time, simply practice abstinence for a couple of weeks. This is the most important aspect of this stage. Use the sound mantras to get the most benefit from these abstinence periods. Remember, one partner will always have more discipline than the other. Do not push it too far. The man may say, let's do 12 days of abstinence, while the woman insists on 21 days. If denied too long in the heightened climate of Tantra and Qigong, he may slip and have sex outside the relationship. The best choice is to simply do the 12 days so that everyone can be taxed equally. The couple can confirm that their sexual energy is building. There is more tension before sex and more tension in the early stages of sex. There is significantly more pressure in the climax. The release is more intense and longer. Some women will still be convulsing and shuddering 10 minutes after the climax. When your base sexual energy level exceeds your libido, you are ready to move to step two. You are generating sexual energy faster than you use it, and you begin to exceed your capacity to store it. You have sex, but recover faster than you used to. Your hormones seem to be raging out of control. You start to have wet dreams. You shall add to this discussion of sexual energy conservation in future chapters. Step two, shift from unipolar to bipolar sexual dynamic. This topic was covered thoroughly in the discussion of the semen retention regimen. Tantra table work. Perform Tantra body work on a member of the opposite sex twice each week. Have a Tantra session done on you once every 2 weeks, and at minimum. Men will use Tantra to activate the G spot in the primary woman. Women will use Tantra to assist the man in semen retention. Men will use Tantra to activate the female breast to assist the woman in beginning breast projection. Women will need to work on the primary male to be sure his arc penis starts to wake up. 3 chapters have been devoted to the discussion of Tantra. The cocoon. This is the new one. This is without a doubt the most difficult stage. It is make or break time. It steps one through In steps 1 through 3, the man or woman is making concrete changes in themselves that have direct and immediate benefits. In step 4, you now must face your false beliefs and the alignment of body issues. There is an entire chapter dedicated to the cocoon protocol. Even so, each person will discover that facing their false beliefs head on and attempting to reduce the pain body is the hardest thing you have ever attempted in your life. You will begin to truly understand the mapping process. Each body is so different. To, to, is so different. The cell body is the farthest away from the quantum field. If all the work you do on the physical plane is not supporting the goals of the quantum field, it is essentially useless. The immediate sexual goals of the energy body are often diametrically opposed to the celestial goals of the light body. Navigating an alignment is tricky. People want to conduct a sex life that is not heart centered, but this is not suitable. That is why intention is so very critically important. The heart is the center of it all. It is never enough to simply have sex with the members of the opposite sex that you find appealing. There needs to be the nourishment of their heart and your heart. Without a heart connection, you have thrown the light body out of sync with the energy body. In the cocoon, you will come face to face with the natural blueprint for life. and you will reveal to yourself all the ways you have been in violation of this organic blueprint. Attempting to correct your path will bring you into direct conflict with the forces of society. Society wants you to go left, but you need to go right. What do you do? It may feel at times as if you are killing yourself. Indeed, you are cutting the head off your ego. Some aspects of your pride and vanity and arrogance must die. Can you swing the sword? In the cocoon, you must embrace pleasure and abandon your pain body. We are all so comfortable with our pain, which allows us to justify making the wrong decision. Pleasure is truth. In pleasure, in true pleasure, you do not consume anything. There is no loss, but religion is built on the guilt and shame of enjoying sexual pleasure. To love God, it says you must deny yourself and follow their doctrine. However, in attaining bliss, you discover a path to God that does not require religion, and then all these temples and mosques and churches become useless. Now the full burden of reaching divinity rests squarely on your shoulders, which can be quite a heavy weight. High level orgasm means that you begin to cultivate divinity internally. In the cocoon, you must stop depending on external entities for your evolution. Step 5, the cell body protocol and internal DMT. Each week, you shall commune with nature via the four elements: fire, earth, water, and air. Fire is the sun, work, exercise, qigong, sweating, and perseverance. Earth is diet. It is eating good bread. It is the intake of the 12 essential minerals. It is the consumption of the main amino acids. Air is oxygen and the burning of oxygen in the cells to eliminate waste. It is the purging of toxins from the body. It is strong, healthy cell membranes. Water is life. It is the drinking of good water. It is the reduction of consuming beverages that are not water. It is to reduce the intake of sugars that do not require digestion. Hydration is life. The designs of the cell body protocol is such that it supports the above communion. Perform the best that you can. In modern times, this can be a challenge. The relationship model. What is the model of your relationship? Will it support the experience of HLO or will it sabotage it? Consider the word and update your language. Relationship. The relation or union of a ship carrying the persona from one level of evolution to a different one. This can result in a higher state or lower level one. The people we surround ourselves with in relationships decide what experiences we will be exposed to and which ones we are not exposed to. Stund- Studies show that a person is not likely to have a greater net worth than the average of their five closest friends. Most greater net Most greater net worth than the average of their five closest friends. Most relationships today tend to sabotage overall sexual progress. Typically, one mate feels an emotional deficit and thus expresses jealousy if their mate experiences any sexual pleasure that they did not provide. They are obstinate in their demand for the right to limit and control the amount of pleasure their mate experiences. Witness two 5-year olds at the dinner table. They both want an equal size slice of cake. If child B receives a smaller slice than child A, this is not acceptable for, at that age, they are self centered. If the matter is not corrected, child B may knock both slices of cake onto the floor. They are willing to risk a beating to prevent their playmate from receiving more pleasure. Most relationships are based on a pain body model, not a pleasure body model. If your relationship is the pain body type, one of the parties, you or them, will stop at nothing to prevent the other from the experience of HLO. They will swear their full support, but it is a lie. All relationships based on monogamy are attempts to limit the other party's access to sexual pleasure beyond what they chose to provide. In step 4, the cocoon, both partners must abandon the pain body model of relationship in order to set a different intention based on the heart. There are many models of relationships in society, but based on the organic natural blueprint of human tribal life, there are mainly three. In other words, three models are naturally occurring: hierarchical relationships, political relationships, intimate relationships. The mapping and navigation process for each of the three types is different. This is clearly set forth at several sections of the Venerable Seven Star System. If society is ignorant of these designs, then its engines of social evolution will be crippled. Oh, damn. Miss Pitch, you want
Okay.
to pick up here?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up.
Okay, let me plug this phone in. I was
Higher or hierarchical means sacred or holy. Hierarchical means arranged in a hierarchy. It is a linear ranking of a group of humans in which no two humans are equal. Each human is the hierarchy. Each human in the hierarchy is ranked either higher or lower than every other human in the order. Based on this ranking, each human either follows the other humans above or leads the other humans below. The order is strict. The ranking is determined by the vibration achieved through evolution over lifetimes. It is inviolate and sacred act. The purpose of hierarchical relationships is for each person to experience the divine and to bring forth the divine attributes within them. Even if a man or woman is carrying a low vibration of an animal or demon, they can experience God nature through the very through the vibration of those higher up in the hierarchy. The secondary purpose of hierarchy relationships is to gradually develop and evolve each person to a higher vibration based on the resonance of the people in the hierarchy above them. This is the most important relationship in the social model of high culture. This style of relationship is modeled in the army. Everyone has a rank that is clearly marked with insignia. Soldiers earn promotions through honorable and courageous service in battle. They model their behavior after the example of the officers above them in the hierarchy. Of course, in normal life, one's rank is more a function of the house of the man slash woman and the point on the tree of life at which one is operating. Whenever any person is engaged in trade, government, police action, education, or spiritual training, they are engaged in a hierarchical relationship. However, in most cases, the structure of the hierarchy has not been formed, and thus the relationships lack proper meaning. There is no rank and no natural ranking system, only a false ranking based on money. People are considered important based on their wealth and ownership of assets. This is not real hierarchy. In a high culture, the degree of spiritual evolution is considered to be of utmost importance. Thus, an authentic spiritual hierarchy is the core of the social system in the same way that fighting skills are considered sacred in a war culture. People are ranked based on their ability to operate all four bodies. Another measure is their ranking on the tree of life system, or they are ranked based on how many archetypes in the house of man slash woman they have online. It is a natural model. The point is that all members of society must be constantly moving up in rank. Status and honor are assigned to those who are doing so. In this way, the nation/tribe is assured the highest level of function. Political relationships. The second type of relationship is political relationship. In organic terms, this is the hive mind, the herd relationship, the flock relationship, or the pack relationship. In humans, we know it as the tribe or community relationship. It is what bonds a group of humans together. The purpose of political relationships is to allow for the specialization of tasks. In other words, one person makes shoes, so not every family has to make shoes. One person makes bread for a dozen. One person is a teacher, and other parents send their children to school to be taught. Not every person has to do all the various tasks. Most people specialize in one or two tasks that benefit the group. The second purpose of political relationships is so that large and complex projects can be done by a specialized group, as this will benefit society as a whole. Such projects could never be achieved by a group of individuals operating without structure. Political relationships are the second most important type of relationship in a high culture. They are also the most difficult to map, as you will see. Here we're talking about the I versus the we in human nature. Both are there, but in political relationships, only the we aspect can be present if progress is to be achieved. In a political relationship, there must be an energy force. There must be an energy, a force, or a mental belief that acts to enforce the we over the I. The enforcement mechanism depends on the mean level of evolution of the group of people involved. Thus, the success of political relationships depends on the hierarchy. When successful, there is no need for police force or civil courts. Intimate relationships. The third natural model or type of human relationship is intimate relationships. Intimate relationships service the I and not the we. Sexual relationships are intimate relationships, but non sexual relationships can also fall under the intimate category. Relationships between a person and their doctor, healer, friend, entertainer, coach, mate, or parent are all intimate relationships. Non organic intimate relationships cause us to be sick, sad, poor, and alone. Organic intimate relationships cause us to be happy and prosperous. We will also have many real friends. The purpose of intimate relationships is to service the I. In an authentic, intimate relationship, we desire for the people within our spirit to be happy. The desire is unconditional. It does not matter how much money they have, how attractive they are, or if they excel in a particular field. We need for them to be happy so that the tribe or community can thrive and evolve. A high culture is defined by the fact that common people are not jealous of the happiness and success of others. An intimate relationship model, as we just described, will support high level orgasm. Most other models will support it less so. One mate should not desire to restrict the happiness of the other mate. Loyalty to the relationship does not demand restriction, and such a model allows for evolution. Strict monogamy is unnatural, a form of possession based on fear. When we live through the filter of our pain body, we then desire for the relationship to revolve around our needs only rather than the needs of the mate. There are three signs that a person is operating in their pain body. They are living in the frame of the past and are unable to fully focus on the present. They exhibit serious trust issues. They have difficulty judging people based on their merits. In the past, if other people mistreated them, they remain distrustful of all people in that category. If a teacher in the past has mistreated them, they distrust all teachers. They demand to possess their mate. This is a condition of the relationship. Their mate is treated like property, and this need to possess is born out of trust issues and unnatural focus on events from the past. In severe cases, they exhibit symptoms like soldiers with PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder. These, these three conditions of the pain body are like landmines lurking under the soil, waiting for you to step on them. You think everything in a relationship is fine, then boom, the pain body hinders you in the quest for HLO. We will further discuss the pain body in a future chapter. Couples who do attain a prolonged state of HLO do tend to prefer an exclusive arrangement, but it should not be forced in the beginning as a relationship requirement. Any condition or restriction placed on a man or woman will essentially serve as another hurdle they must overcome to achieve HLO. The desire to possess and own your mate is a hindrance to orgasm. We can love deeply without possession. Many of the modern constructs of romantic fantasy are built upon a platform of false beliefs. Chief among these is the desire for monogamy. The more attractive and fetching our partner is, the more we demand exclusive rights to their sexual activity. It is better to allow exclusive relationships to form organically rather than being forced as a condition of relating. Expanded sexual response. Expanded sexual response, ESR, is generally defined as enhanced sexual traits and performance. These include the capacity to be aroused, the libido, the stamina, the appetite, the range of sexual response, and the experience of the orgasm itself. It is thought by some in both the Tantra community and in the medical community that this state is abnormal and represents a heightened sexual condition above the baseline or mean of the typical person. However, this hypothesis is incorrect. ESR represents the optimum sexual state a person reaches when they have successfully awakened enough of their dormant DNA to attempt to function at the level where humans were always intended to function. It is the natural sexual state. The existing sexual state of the typical human is not normal and very unnatural. The state of restricted sexual response. Most people believe that ESR was an exotic occult state that could only be obtained through great difficulty and trials. But Master Yao has proven that ESR is the default program of human DNA. The more a man or woman approaches the full awakening of his or her DNA, the closer they approach the ESR state. This revelation has shocked many in the elite niche community of active tantra. ESR represents a change in the architecture of the tower itself. It is not a temporary thing. To achieve this requires a fundamental change at the deepest levels of the human subconscious. The appetite itself increases, and all neurochemical precursors and actuators in the brain are improved in terms of both the ability to produce and transport them. The endocrine system will be upgraded, which is often one of the issues that slow the process down. One's blood sugar regulation changes to move sugar from the liver to the blood and into the cells in astoundingly rapid cycles. This major change in physiology is accomplished by a change in the auric field and the energy body. The energy body dictates this transformation, and thus the physical body obeys. The greatest obstruction to the transformation and the thing that can sabotage it is rigid false belief systems. In the grand trine system, the obtainment of the ESR state is pegged for step 4 in the cocoon. It is not achieved by any diet, medical process, or series of exercises, but rather through vibration. One person who has achieved this state gives it to another person. The client on a massage table. The recipient then has a partial experience on the table, and their spirit body begins to digest and resonate with this new vibration. The instructor now outlines the ESR protocol to the client, and they must follow the protocol. This means that the client must change their lifestyle to stop doing certain things, stop blocking feelings, and abandon the false beliefs that created their restricted condition. These are always based on a scarcity mindset with respect to sex. The giver can only impart a temporary condition to achieve the permanent state of ESR. The client must incorporate the protocol into their life in a comprehensive way. Expanded sexual response, ESR, has been defined as being able to attain long-lasting and or prolonged and or multiple and or sustained orgasms and or status orgasmus that lasted longer and more intense than the classical orgasm patterns defined in the literature. And it's the same 2011 AC. In tantric literature, similar reports of enhanced orgasmic experiences have been reported for both males and females, while the experience and phenomenon of ESR is a recent development in the medical community. Guru, Swami, Lama, and Okomfo have been seeking such secrets for centuries. However, until recently, most of these secrets were lost to all but a rare few. The Grand Trine organization has been in possession of the science of ESR and has taught this science to many eager students. It is concluded that in some particular women with ESR, some of the very intense and prolonged orgasms induce a form of ASC, of which the mechanism remains unexplained. Pudendal, pelvic, hypogastric, and vagus nerves and oxytocin pathways are involved in the development of female orgasm. We hypothesize that blended nerve activation among these four nerves during ESR may be inducing extraordinary subjective feelings in ASC during profound female orgasms. Also, involvement of dopaminergic, serotonergic, and non-adrenergic, opioid, prolactinergic, and oxytocinergic pathways may modulate the altered mood states during ESR induced ASCs, and that's saying 2010 and 2012. Sexual bliss is natural. As a man or woman returns to their original self, they tend to achieve the orgasmic plateau. This is a series of orgasms that are cyclical. The four stages of normal or regular orgasm are less than desired. In other words, they are incomplete. Understand that these orgasmic climaxes are preliminary. She/he is trying with each orgasm to complete a circuit so that orgasm can be held indefinitely. As the rose energy is brought online, her circuits and acupuncture meridians gradually open up. This may take weeks or months or even years, but if she allows the circuit to complete itself, her energy flows in a circular orbit and keeps a special junction of nerves and meridians at the base of her spine open, resulting in a continuous state of orgasm or bliss. This may last for 10 to 20 minutes at a time, depending on the woman. After one of those prolonged orgasm ends, another wave starts up in a short time. She may stay in this state for an hour or more. This is the orgasmic plateau. According to science, ESR has been defined as being able to attain long-lasting and or prolonged and or multiple and or sustained orgasms and or status orgasms that lasted longer and more intense than classical orgasm patterns defined in the literature and this is say in 2011 AC. In the Eastern Chinese, Indian, and Tantric literature, similar enhanced orgasmic experiences of females have been reported. Expanded sexual response, ESR, is a recently acknowledged phenomenon defined as being able to attain long-lasting and or prolonged and or multiple and or sustained orgasm and or status orgasms that lasted longer and more intensely than the classical orgasm patterns defined in the literature. Let's establish the correct parameters. Let's establish the correct parameters. Reaching the state of ESR is a function of changing the architecture of the tower. To this end, a uniform set of tantric skills has been established. And that is the end of chapter 9. It is now on the clock 1011, 1011. And so, what do you think about this chapter?
We are moving right along and still working on. I know we're like more than halfway through the books, and I'm still saying these are foundational principles that we are discussing, reading, taking in, um, with respect to the path, the journey to HLOs, high level orgasms. So let me get these. Let's get these acronyms under control. We say HLO, high level orgasm. A lot of people probably got that. We 6 weeks in, high level orgasms. ESR and ASC are probably some of the newer ones. So let's go with ESR, which is expanded sexual response.
Hold on. Okay. So we did HLO,
Mm-hmm.
which
High
is
level orgasm.
and then what's the next one?
ESR.
What's
Expanded sexual response.
okay.
And then the third one that they kind of just threw out there today, altered ASC,
Altered.
states of consciousness.
Okay.
All right. So now that we worked on getting our acronyms in check, let's talk about ASC and ESR are supposed to be the building blocks or transitional states. That's probably better. They're transitional states on the journey to HLO. So this is after, we one of the last paragraphs that you got into was on 112 and 113. We talked about the dopaminergic, the serotonergic, the noradrenergic, the opioid, the plasticin, the oxytocin. A lot of people will recognize some of the roots of these words as some of the chemicals that are generally made in your brain and released in your brain, and I refer to them as the chemical cocktail of mood enhancement, because depending on how these chemicals are mixed in your brain will dictate whether or not you are energetic, motivated, lethargic, suffer anxiety, or depressed. it all depends on the mix of dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, opioid, neuralgic. It depends on the mix of those chemicals in your brain, and you have a means by which you can control how these chemicals are dictated if you work on it. You can work on it. There's a series of things that you can do first thing when you wake up that will start this chemical release. The chemical release that you get if you start your morning by grabbing your phone and scrolling on social media is different than the chemical mix that you're going to get if you lay in bed and do some gentle stretching and do some breathing. And then as soon as you put your feet on the floor, you walk into you walk into an outdoor space, you ground yourself and do a little tai chi. The mix of chemicals in your brain for the day are dictated by what you do in the first half hour of waking. So you've got control. And I like that they pointed this out as protocol. So we're not just trying to, go all the way to heaven, seventh heaven in a sexual state, but we are working toward being both mentally and physically and emotionally healthier. And those are some of the points that jumped out at me. Again, this was once again we're heavy on the heart chakra and how it can either enhance or diminish your ability to achieve a high level orgasm. Are you in a vulnerable state, or are you blocking and restricting yourself on an emotional uh, and mental level? And I like how we just we were able to read and discuss those factors as we again travel this road to uh, the holy grail of orgasm. The other thing you heard Miss Pitt say at the end of several quotes was saying 2011, and so let me clear that up. Dr. Umit Saying, a tantric and Taoist specialist, wrote a book back in 2011, and he helped define a lot of these things as there's more and more tantra work coming online. So if you're interested in researching him, it's where some of these quotes that Dr. Or Master Yao and Morris are quoting. That's Dr. Umit, Umit, Sayin, Sayin. Check it out. Check it out. There's a lot of theories about how to develop peak experiences and getting into the mechanisms of manipulating the female body and the five cases of the expanded sexual responses. You can get a much deeper learning. We still got a ways to go, but as we discussed this cocoon phase, it is about taking in a lot of information on how to get those building blocks solidly under your sexual feet before we start the race toward high level orgasms. And I think I've talked a whole lot. What's
For me, a lot was here, but what the focus was about was the diabetes. And it has been an experience that I learned all too well. I did not know how, I would say, it affects men. I'm not a diabetic person, but my friend, may he rest in peace, was, and so it greatly affects sexual energy. And it's sad. It was just so sad Very sad because it's not something that you can control. And so, after so many energy leaks, come to the conclusion that it just wasn't a good idea because it's just like barking up a tree that you can never climb. And so, my empathy goes out to anybody experiencing diabetes or high blood pressure. I, in dating, ask men that out of the door because I really don't have the time or the patience. It's like, if you're not yourself on a path of healing those things within your temple, then I just let somebody else do it. I'm sorry. So, I don't know how people even deal with it in a marriage, Listen.
I'm listening.
I don't know. People just be annoying, and this is to people that celebrate. Because I'm going to say it. Everybody keep texting. I don't celebrate holidays generally, but for those that do, Happy Mother's Day. It's very annoying. Every holiday is annoying to me. Okay, I'm like my phone. People know I don't celebrate, and I get these. Thank you for the Mother's Day wishes. If you want to thank me, send a Happy Mother's Day. Hit my cash up. Zell me some cash. This is why I don't celebrate because it's like you can't celebrate with words. You celebrate with actions. Okay, actions is the celebration. It's not the words. I don't know. Well, the culture of people get this. We had StreamYard. You couldn't get on for 15 minutes because everybody doing content. And it's just not even real. If it was real, Zelle or Cash App or Mother. Listen, we can't pay these bills and feed these children with words. We just can't. And so just want to go and put that out there. We are trying to get mothers to have better orgasms. This is the community work. It's in the action, the doing. You know, it's like this is what we're trying to heal. We ain't gonna with y'all clouding up the StreamYard, child. It's like, today I just don't get it. Shout out to my mom. Love you. Okay. But just in general, today was one of those days. I thought about chapter 8 all week long. It was just so much information. It's like just sitting and really, he talked so much about the dang on prostate. I just didn't know it was that serious. And so, see, this brother here need to come weed eat my grass. It's like, you want a Happy Mother's Day me, sign up for a duty. You get what I'm saying? The yard is out of control. It wasn't cut for months. I need the action. I'm not with the don't text me 1,000 words now. Now, all the people, and I don't know how women experience diabetes. We get back to the book. I don't know how women experience diabetes and how that energy leaks into, and how it affects their sexual nature. But just echo. Just for men. Okay.
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 Thank you very much. Yeah, they seem to have got my Wi-Fi back online. I prefer this device.
Okay. So I don't know why somebody kicking Jamal. You got 2 entries here. It's like kick Jamal from the studio. Why you gotta kick Jamal from the studio? That's crazy. But I don't know how it affects women. But for men, I just don't know. It's just like, for me, and this is not medical advice, if you are a brother, just say no to the medication. It is too many natural and herbal remedies. You got to remember, medication is to treat, not cure, right? And so I would not commit to the medication, and they use fear to get you on them, and they never tell you once you start them, it's the lightness of getting off of them is never. It's never. And so I just feel just so much because I remember, and of course I'm only gonna speak from my experience, a couple of occasions of it just being a sweet aroma of heavy lightness in the air. And then to get all the way there, you at the base of the tree, and a whisper in my ear, I'm too anxious. What? Listen, y'all, my sister get it. Me and my sister got dark sense of humor. We laugh hysterically at the wrong shit. Listen, the I can't or I'm too anxious in that heightened tree moment is never gonna go over well with a woman ever. Now I don't know. Like I said, with women with diabetes, does this happen to you? Put in the comments. I don't know, but I just know hearing that makes me want to punch the air. Okay, because first of all, I feel like in some level you should have known that before even getting involved. Okay, and then the other thing is like they have all these things where you can maybe treat in the moment, the pills, the gels, the lotions. Listen, no, I am not built with the patience. Like my patience be short. But my always tell me like take 7 times. Now you can't come with the I'm too anxious 7 times because I'm gonna be done snap. By time 3, by the time you done said that, I'm already checked out. I ain't even finna let you come to this tree ever again. Okay. I have checked out and signed out. Okay. And so I just felt like in those moments, it was just so sad. Cause it's like, dang. And then it's something you can't control. And me being me, I am a solution girl. So I list all the herbs. I went into research mode, just trying to save the day. But if you are committed to the medication, the herbs can't get to working. They are counterproductive. And trust me, I tried, okay? And so it's just one of those things. My heart goes out to the brothers that experience that type of energy leak because you can lose a person with that type of energy leak. Us fire signs out here, if you're a fire sign, you know. If you know, you know. Now, if you're not, you might have a little more empathy. But fire burns and yearns. Okay. And so that just ain't gonna go over well with everybody. And so I feel like that part when he said that, and then the other thing is the emotional leap or the pain body. That right there was deep because it's like you be so used to pain, you second think pleasure. And some of us do. When he said going against the monogamy is the control child, it was just a bit much because like you want your partner to be happy. And can you have them happy and you sharing and not possessing? Baby, I'm not there yet. I'm not. I'm greedy. Like it's not going to happen in this moment. Might get a little tipsy and decide I'm gonna share, but in my wholeness, in my right, sober state of mind, I'm not there yet. And I believe it is control because it's like, for me, I like the control aspect a little. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, I like that you think you own me. I own me at the end of the day, but if you think that, yeah, I like it a little bit. But not so much to where you blocking my HLO. That's something different. It's like, dang,
Hmm.
you want your partner to be happy. You want your partner to have HLO. And then it's just like, that might be you opening that door up for them to do it another
Hmm.
kind of way with somebody else. It's crazy. I can't even
Hmm.
process. It's like, what?
So let's go back to the references in the book here
Mm-hmm.
and help a couple of people that may be experiencing the same mindset as Miss Pitts with respect to patience. This is not the path for you if you are stuck at not having patience. One of the things we just reiterated is that it can take months or even years just to develop the appropriate tantric work, which is only one of the 5 elements that you need in order to get to achieving HLOs with intention and with regularity. So, before you try to embark on this journey, you're going to have to deal with that patience issue that you might have. It's right here in
What
the
you
book.
mean?
5 months was not uncommon to years of just getting to the point of doing the appropriate level of tantra work that you can incorporate it into HLO. So um, we are going to have to learn to be kind of patient with ourselves as well as with our partners as we journey toward HLO. And so, uh, kind of want to say that. And also, when we speak of what what are some of the factors that can adversely affect women that have diabetes? Well, it is very common for women that have diabetes to have a decreased libido,
Mm.
and that some of them actually develop difficulty in being aroused in and of itself.
Mm.
Vaginal dryness is very common for women that suffer diabetes, and
Really?
in some degree, pain, um, intercourse in itself can become painful to them, and so that stops them. And there's also a heavy risk of infections, vaginal infections, urinary tract infections, yeast infections, that kind of thing, for women that experience diabetes. So, it's not just men that can have those factors and can have to make those choices about medication, no medication, and such. Um, but you said one thing that is very encouraging and very true, and that is this: it is a possibility of reversing many of the diabetic factors with herbs. You're going to have to research it. You're going to have to find the proper cocktail or mix for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to encourage that it is no different than the doctors that are practicing by saying, try this. Let's try metformin. Let's try this milligram of metformin. Let's try this milligram of insulin. Let's try Ozempic. Let's try tirzepatide. Let's try all of the other uh, pharmaceutical cocktails of the day.
Right.
Um, there are there are herbs and combinations of herbs, as well as combinations of lifestyle changes, dietary changes, workout changes that can offset um, diabetes for men and for women. I will share a piece of my personal journey. Some 2 years ago, they tried to tell me that I had slipped into the pre-diabetic range. I refused the medication, and 3 months later, yeah, now I'm taking blood tests and I'm in the diabetic range. Then I went into research mode because one thing I did not want to do is get on uh, any other medication, because I was on a personal health journey. I was February 2 years ago. I was 430 pounds. I'd ballooned up from after a couple of bouts with double pneumonia and COVID virus, and their treatment of them saying they saved my life with these corticosteroids and some other cocktails and stuff. And so, yeah, I was alive, but I absolutely was not living. And I started to develop these problems. And one of them was a severe weight gain. Um, yeah, I'm at 260 now, but 260 has come with uh, severe lifestyle changes. I don't have the same love affair with food, for one, because I started to restrict myself. I quite literally cried when I came out of that doctor's office after getting on the scale at 430 pounds. Um, yeah, no wonder I couldn't move. No wonder I was still on four liters of oxygen. Where anytime I moved, whether it was from the couch to the bathroom or the bedroom to the kitchen, I had to drag an oxygen tank with me.
Mm.
And so I journeyed on a fast. I started to utilize some different fasting protocols until I found what worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
And the fasting protocols, the dietary restrictions that I put myself on, I created my path based on the research that I did, and changed my journey so that now I'm not 430 pounds anymore. I've been steadily increasing weight. I'm in a bit of a plateau right now, but I'm down to
Congratulations.
260 pounds. Um, and now I'm doing blood tests on a regular basis, and there's no sign. The glucose is in check. The A1C is back below, outside of the diet range of pre-diabetes. It's, everything looks good without ever taking any insulin or metformin or stuff like that. They tried to prescribe some stuff, and even my high blood pressure. I want to say this just to share with people. I was actually one of those victims of being put on, um, convinced to let myself be put on to a high blood pressure medication protocol for decades. And
Mm.
it did ravage me to some degree while it kept my blood pressure at an acceptable level for the doctor's office.
Mm.
And then while I was on that, when I began that journey to improve my health, I said by the end of the year, I wanted to be off all medication. So when I was firmly entrenched on the fasting protocol, I had adjusted what I did put in my body. I stopped taking that medication. Guess what my blood pressure readings looked like 3 months after me not taking the medication?
Well,
They and fasting and just changing my diet and incorporating a couple of natural supplements. I was having lower blood pressure readings than I had when I was in my 20s,
wow.
and they remained that way 2 years after me not taking those pharmaceutical medications. There is another way. And I know this is a kind of a bit off topic, but not, because we have already shared what Master Morris has encouraged, is that you need to be as healthy as you possibly can as you journey on the road to HLO. So I
Right.
shared these little things with you, uh, not as a medical doctor telling you to drop what you're doing, drop your medication and start taking this, but do some research and see if you think that some of them are some things that you might want to experiment with yourself. But
Right.
there's some tried and true ones out there, Miss Pitts, um, that are readily available on this thing called the internet. If anybody can go into their AI Google search bar and find out where the best turkey legs are, you can find out what herbs will replace some pharmaceuticals that your doctors are trying to put you on. Or just go to a holistic doctor and get them to write you a protocol of herbs and supplements.
Right. And I know most people don't because they're on some type of insurance or whether it be government sponsored insurance or payroll sponsored insurance, to
Mm-hmm.
where the natural practitioners are not covered. but it's worth it. You can pay out of your pocket, and I know this because I do this for our dentists. We go to a natural dentist. They bill us, we pay out of pocket, and then they send the codes to the insurance, and then they come back and send us most
We get reimbursed for most of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
So
same thing is true for all of the holistic doctors. The stem is changing. It used to be hard and fast, Miss Pitts. It used to really be hard and fast. Holistic doctor, absolutely not. We're not paying for that. But as a lot more of the Eastern medical practices have come online and proven that they are equal to or better than there are some insurances that are saying, okay, well, we will do this. Maybe not 100% of them, but they will do some things. Do try. I just say try.
Yes, don't just go with whatever the insurance is saying, number one, because you are at the head of your own health. And again, this is not medical advice. You got to keep saying it because they will flag to be not medical advice. We're not medical doctors. Doctors treat diseases. They don't care. It's treatment. They practice medicine. Practice, keyword. And so it's not medical advice. We're just saying, in this book, he's explaining different things that affect leaking your sexual energy, high blood pressure, and diabetes being two of them. And it's just like you don't have to go on a medical journey. You can go on a herbal or healing, or even people not healing with sound. Okay. Just check out alternative methods of healing. Don't just take a diagnosis and run with it. I see people, I don't join groups like this, but where people like, oh, I got edema, so now I'm going to edema luncheons and being the face of edema. That is wild to me. It's like there's no celebrating conditions. Let's practice more and focus more on healing your body, not accepting these diagnoses. And then next thing you know, you in your 40s and your leg is swole and you got an edema shirt on. That's wild to me. I can't process none of it, right? And I know this because I was looking at my legs, my own legs, and I was like, dang, is this edema? And so what I did was start doing lymph exercises. All of the excess fluid that was on my legs is now gone. I had a lymph pocket up under my arm. It is now gone. And so let's start committing to healing our bodies versus going around and participating in marches and runs and luncheons. That's not going to heal your body. It's just not. You are accepting somebody who is practicing something. You're accepting their diagnosis and then running with it for life. No, I didn't want my legs swole up. By the time I hit 50, I got this one big fat leg. That's wild. It's wild. Okay. And so, no, I went immediately into seeing what was going on. And then I started doing the lymph exercise. And I now do them every day. I don't have extra fluid anywhere at this point. I'm thankful. I'm always a solution-based person. Like I say, even with your partners, start researching this stuff. You don't have to accept a diagnosis for life. You can look up things. I met a girl in college. She was diagnosed with AIDS. She got it from her husband. Her T cells were low to the floor. She changed the way she ate. She started fasting. That is now no longer alive or traceable in her body. Period. Gone. Okay. And it was because she had the discipline to change. All of these are just your body responding to whatever's going on the inside. And so once she cured her own AIDS, HIV, they gave her a death sentence, of course. She's fully cured today and remarried. Don't take somebody's practice and let them put their words on you, and then you accept that thing. She did not accept that. She did not accept it. Graduated school, remarried, happily married, and beautiful, glowing out here. And so she doesn't share that with everybody, but
Yeah.
at that point in my journey, I ran into her and she felt comfortable to share. Thankfully, it's a safe space, but it's just like nothing is permanent. Don't let these people teach you. They tell you, oh, it's in your bloodline. This
Right, hereditary. Mm-hmm.
they make
Mm-hmm.
it stuff up. That's why when I go, I don't even answer, did your mama have these? No, they're making it up. Tell me you ain't got no mama. Shout out to the mothers. You ain't got a mama to have nothing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They make it up and then they put this fear on you, and you sometimes you go into thinking genetically that you're supposed to encounter these
Mm-hmm.
things. No, 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 no. And so just wanted to touch on that. That was some of the stuff that I was paying attention to. Like I say, the
Mm-hmm.
emotional energy leak, the pain body. I can resonate with all that because it's like society shapes you to think and put sex and shame in the same category. It's like
Mm-hmm.
there should be nothing shameful about sex, and whether you do it responsibly or not responsible, it's your business. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
nobody can come in and be like, oh, it has to be responsible. Some people live on the edge. It ain't responsible. Okay, it's not
Yeah, yeah.
what we're promoting, but just
Not promoting irresponsibility or sexual
and then what
deviation.
is responsibility? Because all the things that kill you are legal. Let's keep it real. So just
Mm.
don't know. I personally think that all the STDs and stuff are vibrations. When you
Mm.
open yourself up to low level energy and vibrations, you might run into something.
Mm.
But just at the end of
Mm.
the day, it's your sex life. Don't let nobody box you in. Don't let nobody tell you it has to be responsible or irresponsible. Just all this stuff.
Mm.
Get to your HLO. Okay? Get to the HLO. By all means
Mm.
necessary. It's healing. This man did the studies. Now, I can't wrap my mind around going to Atlanta and there being a whole group of people in a building and people taking turns laying on a table. I can't. I was like,
Did you watch any of those videos I told you about last week on
yeah,
tantra work?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it really does require you to uh, be in a very vulnerable space. You have to be willing to be vulnerable to some degree. And it is, as we're talking about, even this journey to achieving HLO, putting the tools in your toolbox requires you to do them with intention and trust that they are going to be they're going to come to fruition as you seek your goal. Even that the tantra work in and of itself
Mm-hmm.
requires that you set an intention. The person performing the table work has to have intention. You laying on the table has to have some intention before you embark on that particular journey in order for it to be successful. And if you're not able to get around any of the blocks that you have, you will be restricted and inhibited from the goal that you may have set from yourself.
Right.
Hence, we talk about the PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, of some things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, if you've got to hang up about different parts of your body, exposure, and different things, if in fact you are one of those men that have had erectile dysfunction issues and it ended badly, caused a relationship to end, whatever, or just you haven't been able to satisfy your wife or your girlfriend in months or years, that will work on your mental, that will work on your psyche. You will almost withdraw, and anytime you have an opportunity, you may find yourself saying that trying to get out of it, trying to get out of doing anything. You might want to hold off a little longer um, from doing it with somebody because you have a fear of we consider it failure. If we cannot conquer sexually as a man, our ego, our pride says that we have failed, and we don't like failure. I'm being real. That is a male driven trait. I know women have egos and they have pride too, but I'm saying it's way more masculine a thing than it is feminine, and
Mm-hmm.
it really does drive us. We can't we didn't knock her out and make her shake, and she ain't calling us back for round 500. That messes with our ego. Won't take our calls, ghost us after we had sex. Hey, what you mean? What happened? Which leads me to this other thing. Going back to what you said, I just wanted to add. For some people, words of affirmation are more important than for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to get into the whole five love language thing, but for some people, there is for some people, acts of service are a big thing. As Miss Pitt said, if you want to really get her to believe, that you're caring about her, or you want to honor her as a mother, or whatever she does, then send her a goat, come mow the lawn, Cash App, Star, whatever it is. I don't want to misquote you. I think you said all of those things.
All of the things, all the actions.
Those are actions. Those acts of it's gifts or something. Anyway, we're giving a gift.
Gifts. Yes.
Yeah, gift giving, whether it's gifts of service or gifts of
just
tangible things like money and goats.
Yes.
Those are the things that she desires. But then there are some women who are satisfied simply by their son, daughter, or everybody at the church who got their number, picking up the phone or sending them a text message saying, "Happy Mother's Day." And that's enough for them. And we don't want to take away from that being a reality in life. But know yourself, be true to yourself. And before we get into the pain body work next week, I really want everybody to take some time and examine yourself and see what pain bodies, what restrictions you may have. Here's your homework assignment. As we explore the we're still going to be talking about the cocoon phase, but chapter 10 is called The Pain Body. And so we're going to delve into that because it's one of the 5 that we need to explore. And as we continue to build the house, put the blocks down to build the house, the foundation of getting to HLO, high level orgasm. Yes.
Listen.
Okay.
So, pain body is another. I've had this book, like I said, a couple of years, so I did scan through this chapter, and he speaks in the middle of it about the misogynistic person, which believes in persecution, a persecution complex, and he states that they are the victim and the opposite sex in general is incapable of fair treatment. And so this is heavy. That for one is just most of society today. It's like we seeing online all the men versus women, and this is my math. I ain't gonna say girl math. This is my math. If you are a male and you want to learn about women, you would not subscribe to a bunch of men talking about women. You would be following what you like. I can't even process why, and it's the same with women. If you are trying to find out what males and figure them out, you're not going to be listening to a bunch of single women online talk about what males like. The math ain't mathing. And that's what I see in society. It's like men will send you and women send it all these clips of these single people they don't know. You don't know them personally. I don't even know why their opinion holds weight, But you listen to all it, and it's just like you cannot learn women from men. They've never been women. They will never be women. So it just all the Kevin Samuel followers and all that. Tighten up. The man, and then y'all using the example of men carrying purses and wearing nail polish. Listen, the math ain't math, and I don't care what kind of content. Oh, he was keeping it real. It was giving woman hate. It was giving hurt and delusional, right? And I subscribe. I'm a person, I see everything balanced. I'm a Venus in Libra, so I see the balance between the sexes. I was a subscriber.
Mm-hmm.
Some stuff, he had a little message, but at the end of the day, he wasn't somebody that you as a man would be following to get to women. He was somebody who really, what they call the villain in the story, an antagonist. It's like that's it. If you like the villain victim dynamic, okay. But even with the women, a lot of women subscribing to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. I listen to her too. I don't subscribe, but I listen. She makes good points, but I do not follow advice from women about men. I just don't. I get on the phone with my homeboys quick. The people, I value their opinion before I'm listening to a stranger on the internet. It makes no sense. I don't even know how we got here. It's like then you're subscribing to it, and then you're taking the pain from whatever they're talking about, because a lot of people speaking from pain. And then you apply it to your life. This is stuff you've never experienced. I see the men not dating women with children. It's like, cut the shenanigans. Cut the shenanigans. Women have always had children, and the reason why there's so many single moms is because men walk away. We're never holding the men to the accountability. It's always the woman being held under fire for being a single mom. We got to get to the root of all this stuff. It's really loud and wrong on steroids. You know what I'm saying? Women, we don't get the option of really walking away. Hell, I think about it all the time. I be going to get on a ship and sail off. My guilt would catch me.
Well, what do you say to? Well, I don't even want to. We don't want. We'll have that offline.
Yeah, but just in general, I know one mom out of my whole lifetime that actually gave up rights to her children, and she did it to prove a point, and it was better for it because her sons needed their dads, and the dads got to experience what it felt like to be a single parent and not have no help. The boys were stronger for it, and she was too. Her mental health was intact, so later she did get custody of her children back. But this is what I'm saying. When you're seeing it online, it sounds good. People have all the answers, but then when you put a microscope up to their lives, they can't really speak on it because they're just speaking generally and not from experience. And so let's cut all that out. Let's get back to a point and center where we do know that we need each other. There's no world without the man and the woman procreating. We cease to exist. So there can't be a constant war. It's crazy. Let's get back to these orgasms. I feel like everybody is sex deprived, self-included. Self-included. And that leads to a bunch of delusional conversations. I think this is the key to it. You get this book, you get the masculine and the feminine versions too, and he has other, and let me just share the page with his website. He has other books that is bringing us back together on some level. Now, are you going to be willing to share your man or woman? I don't know. I'm not there yet personally. But I like this brother because his programs, the goal is to provide healing and then to get us all back together. He has whole programs. Y'all see it? Video only courses offered. And I can't even imagine, child. Might get into some of these videos, but I don't see myself traveling to Atlanta, laying on a table. But if I could just see it, the natural blueprint for relationships, right here. Listen, I like a solution-based. You get what I'm saying? It's not just him online talking about the male versus the woman and just all these things, but solutions. He's bringing real solutions. Here are the books. They went up a little in price. Probably the cover the cost of shipping. Shipping is high. This is my next book from him. I just want to see what it's about. This is a 7-year Amaneer project that he did studying relationships, sex, and secret practices amongst indigenous cultures. He has a set, and these are just some oracle books. If you're into oracles, you know, that would be for the spiritual community. He has some of these, and then there's a set of the Oracle of Kemsa new book set. But let's get back to understand that we need each other. There's no you without me. When I would rather be up under my boo having great orgasms. I don't want to be on the internet listening to a bunch of random people that I'll never meet in person. Like, let's get back to understand we need each other and we need good sex. This is what true healing come from. Okay, it's like,
All right. Shout out
yeah,
for good sex
we got
and high
15 more
level
minutes.
orgasm
We have to make up.
and high level orgasms. I forgot we started late.
Right.
And so one of the things that Miss Pitts was just talking about is, getting out of our head and throwing off some of the stigmas that we've been brainwashed by society, by religiosity, social media, and stuff. You have a lot of entities. There have been some governmental brainwashing that's gone on in the last 100 or so years as well. And I wish Max with the Gap was here when you started talking about the PTSD that some people have behind how they've been shamed by religion because of sex.
Right.
And when Master Morris mentioned that particular hang up here in this last chapter about having multiple partners and the need for being selfless sometimes for the sake of the greater good of the relationship, I always think about the Bible in and of it, the Bible in and of itself supposedly being this guide for living a more moral and upstanding life, so you can get to heaven. And then we fast forward to modern day churches only espousing monogamous marriages and relationships and such, and yet reading 2, 3, 4, 5 times a year about the wisest man, the wisest king that ever lived, a man that God loved, was one of his top 10 people, Solomon, who had 700 wives and 300 concubines.
What?
But I can only have one wife. This kind of the hypocrisy of it all. Individual choices for individual people. I never say I want 1,000. I don't ever want to be responsible for 1,000 women. I don't care how much money I got. But I don't have that kingdom. But it's funny. Master Morris went to there about the hang-ups and restrictions there, and I know you touched on it too, Ms. Pitts. So check out your own pain bodies that you may hang-ups you may have, and kind of get in touch with them, and you'll see when we explore some techniques for offsetting and ridding yourself of those particular shadows, so that you can journey on to the road to high-level orgasms, altered states of consciousness, expanded sexual resources. And I feel like I said that wrong. So you can become a sexual god or goddess, as it were. Who am I going back to? Make sure I say this. We just did it. I had it in my head.
It's on page 96.
What happened? Expanded sexual response. Yeah, that's one. I think just one word was wrong. Yeah, expanded sexual response and altered states of consciousness are two transitional states on the road to high-level orgasm. So if you've written that down, if you're watching this, write that down. Go ahead and do a little research on that. Check out Dr. Umit Sayan's book on those particular things. He's probably done the most published research on those two subjects than anybody.
So did anybody
And
win the book for this week?
no, nobody hit me up. Nobody hit me up. Well, that was actually supposed to be during our book review. And nobody hit me up during the book review, but I even said, if they hit me up afterwards, they watch live, I would. But as of today, nobody has gave me a shout out on my messenger and said whatever they're supposed to say.
Use your Venus grip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Doesn't it do something to you when Miss Pitt say it? It's just
and I'm using my grip as I said. Like, it reminds me to do my Kegel exercises.
Get your yoni eggs, do your Kegel exercises, get ready.
I got a funny story about the yoni egg. So I didn't know that in the exercises you're not supposed to buy the big egg. So for me, I was just like, okay. So I went to the little spiritual shop and I saw big egg. So I buy the biggest egg I saw. And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna start using this thing.
You're gonna work it out. Work it out.
Egg in there, and I didn't research beforehand. I just was winging it. And that thing hit the floor. It was so funny. And then I realized, oh, you get them small and then you work your way up. And so from that point, I have not purchased any more eggs. I still got that one on my altar. It's just like, make sure if you're going to do the eggs that you're getting the smaller ones and you work with the smaller ones first. And then you go up in size as you go. And so, yeah, learned that the hard way.
Research the usage and technique principles prior to insertion.
Right. Don't just have your egg dropping on the floor, rolling around. Just
right. Sanitize, boil it.
But hot water. We are here. Next week we'll be on chapter 10. Chapter 10. The pain body. This chapter looks to be just as extensive as chapter 9.
15 pages.
Yes, and so it's going to go in depth about the pain body. Like I said, a lot of us are walking around with this type of energy leak. For me, he has charts in here, and I'm going to go ahead and after this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you reading my mind, young lady. I was just saying, we're gonna have to slow down and go through a couple of those charts. Maybe we can get them ready in advance. I was just about to say that.
But he goes into how to determine someone's CP, and CP is counterfeit personality. And I like when he describes the CPs in the first two books we read, the masculine and feminine. And a lot of us are just going around our whole lives in counterfeit personality mode. You're going around as your representative, not really who you are. I can say, me personally, I don't have the bandwidth to code switch or pretend. When I'm code switching in those rare occasions, you can just, everybody who knows it's not even comfortable. I don't see how people do it. Even when I was in the workforce, it was best just to leave me the hell alone, because you weren't finna get no code switching, and you might get the hood come out. Like, you're doing too much, and we're gonna act like we're not at work. Everybody know. Shout out to Atlanta public schools. You work for the public schools, baby. The code switching don't work. Them children it's kind of out there. It's the highest paid system, but you're going to put up with the most. And so the counterfeit personality has never been appealing to me. I am going to be me, and I feel like that attracts more authentic people, because then when you're in counterfeit, you're attracting what you're doing, which is gonna be artificially generated connections versus when you being yourself. And I see people do it all the time. People do it because they have to. Others
Mhm.
do it because it's a wall of protection. As far as going out in the world, they don't want to be vulnerable or be seen by strangers, and it's understandable.
Mhm.
But I've just always been one way, and so that has been pretty much. I had my friend. Shout out to you, Christian. He told me when we first started hanging out that I didn't have any tact. It was so funny because at that time I'm like, what is tact? Like, what are you talking about?
What is that? What is
And then once
that?
I looked it up, I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat something to make you feel better. I'm gonna say what I gotta say, and then you process that thing, and you're gonna be receptive of it or not. I'm not gonna try not
Mhm.
to hurt people's feelings when I'm speaking because I don't
Mhm.
have the patience for that. I When I'm speaking, it's never feelings based unless I know you.
Really, really.
Well, unless I know you intimately, just random strangers, nah, they ain't gonna
Mhm.
get no feelings. You're gonna get this work, but if I
Mhm.
know you intimately, friendships and stuff like that, everybody know I'm a very emotional being. But just
Mhm.
on the surface, no, I'm not gonna sugarcoat to make you feel comfortable in what's being said. So that we've been friends now for over 10, 20 years. It's like, yeah, I'm not his friend that has a bunch of tact. Don't bring me around nobody that is gonna be emotionally wounded by me being my real self. I ain't got time. And so I
Mhm.
encourage this, especially in sexual relationships, because when you go in and you're pretending that you aren't nasty or that being freaky is an issue, that's eventually gonna surface in a way. And so
Mhm.
me being new to back on the market and experimenting and hearing things, even though I clutch my pearls, I'm one of them people that's gonna research and get deep into it because I need to know if I personally like it. And I'll ask my
Mhm.
closest friends and stuff like, well, have you heard of this? And have you tried it? And
Mhm.
I just be trying to see because I don't know if I like it, and I'm not gonna go into a relationship now at this tender age and be like, oh no, I would never. It's like cool people in that way. It's like I would never do that. Oh no,
Mhm.
no, it's unladylike. This is the old Nina. It's unladylike. I would never like. No.
You know, I could have. I keep saying I'm gonna do it one day. Maybe you and I and some other people. I would just love to have a conversation from an intellectual standpoint
Right.
of what is nasty, what is freaky. Because these
We can
words,
do.
what
Yes.
is nasty, what is kinky, what is freaky. I think people misuse the words. I think there's this, I don't know, this maybe this even, and not that I don't mean just African American people, but there's this slang or ebonic like understanding of what it may mean in some cultures
Right.
or among some people, but it does not always translate 100% to some other people and some
Right.
other cultures.
Right.
But it just seems like that's just like a very interesting conversation from a definition standpoint to have,
Right.
because some people are offended by people that are freaky or nasty or kinky, and other people are like, you better be freaky, you better be nasty, oh I don't want you if you ain't kinky.
Listen, I have this conversation all the time. It's like, we've had this conversation. Like, somebody might be doing too much to somebody, but for me, I'm naturally curious, and so people are like, oh, well, this is classified as a way of disrespect, and for me,
Humiliation is a kink, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel disrespected.
I heard.
I felt valued that that person would be that open with me. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's one of those things, and I get it. People look to be offended by a lot, but I'm just not offended by you speaking your truth. Now, do I want to go into a deep essay test like situation about your truth? No. But
Mm-hmm.
if it triggers thoughts, then I'm all for it. I'm not going to be like, oh, no, I'm going to go research it I'm gonna see how it make me feel on the inside. Maybe I got a little tingle from finding out that you just never know.
Seek out the tingle. Okay, gotcha. Seek out the tingle.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If it's something you never heard of and you never tried, how you know if you like it or not?
You don't know. You don't know. Hey, if you still here with us, thank you so much for staying to the end. We're about to sign off.
Right.
You've been with Miss Nina Pitts of Styles by Nina and Jamal and Butch. Reach out to us on various platforms from Facebook to Instagram and whatnot. The information's going to be posted below. Check out the lives of our previous Alchemical Changes book club sessions, where we've been discussing for the last 6 weeks the Holy Grail of Orgasm by Master Yao and Morris. You'll be glad you did. Look, you get a tingle from one of them.
I like the chapters. Oh, and I have linked Brother Butts' Facebook information in the description box. Y'all go over, support, check out his page, his content. It's always a joy. If you're a foodie, go over there and show his food pictures some love. He cooks beautifully. All the ingredients laid out, all that. That was one of the reasons that attracted me to his page. And so just go over there and show him some love. And y'all participate. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe. We're coming here every week, holidays and all. Just trying to bring you all content that's worth some value and that'll bring about healing in our community. And so show that love back. You don't have to get up here on stage. If you would like, let us know in the comment box. But if you can't get on stage with us, at least say thanks in the comment section. We are watching. If you have any questions, please post them in the comment section. We'll go back through. If you would like to participate, like I say, hop on stage, read a chapter. I am willing to take pictures of the chapter and email them to you so that you can read. We love when guests come up. Shout out to
Max with the Gap.
Max with the Gap.
Yeah.
She came up on one of the chapters and shared a couple of things with us. Beautiful young lady. And so we encourage participation. That's why we're here. And again, next week we'll be going into chapter 10, the pain body. And we're going to get out of here. See you all. Peace. And we're out.